Hello, first graders. Time to tell some more time. Let's review first what we did yesterday. Yesterday we learned how to tell time to the hour on an analog clock. Remember, an analog clock is a clock that has two hands and numbers from 1 to 12. We learned that on an analog clock there are two different hands. Do you remember what they are? What is this big hand right here called? That is the minute hand, which must mean this little guy right there is the hour hand. We learned that if it is exactly on the hour, that the minute hand will be on the 12, and the hour hand will tell us what hour it is. So here we have 9 o'clock. What time is this? That is 5 o'clock. We also learned that when the minute hand goes around the entire clock one time, the hour hand moves from 1 hour to the next. So an hour is 60 minutes. If it is 5 o'clock, what time was it 2 hours ago? If it's 5 o'clock, then 2 hours ago, it would have been 3 o'clock. If it was 3 o'clock, what time was it 2 hours ago? Two hours ago, it would have been 1 o'clock. We also talked about how to tell this tricky time right here. That is 12 o'clock. The minute hand and the hour hand are both pointing directly at the 12. Today we're going to learn to tell time on the other type of clock, which is a digital clock. A digital clock uses numbers instead of two hands to tell the time. On digital clocks, you usually see something that says AM or PM. AM means it's the morning, and PM means it's the afternoon or the night. So on a digital clock, there are two little dots right in the middle, and that separates the hours from the minutes. So the hours are on the left side of the dots, and the minutes are on the right side of the dots. If the time is to the hour, like on an analog clock, if it was the minute hand was pointing directly at the 12, then that means it is 0 minutes past the hour because it's exactly the hour. So the minutes will always show 00, 0. And we can tell the hour by the time on the left side of the dot. So this, of course, is 1 o'clock. This shows 4 o'clock because the hour is on the left side of the dots. If it was 4 o'clock, what time would it be in an hour? In an hour, it would be 5 o'clock. The hour is on the left and the minutes are on the right side of those two little dots. Next, I want you to grab this little paper clock that we made. Yesterday we worked on the analog side. Today we're going to work on the digital side. You're also going to need a pencil with an eraser so that we can write more than 1 hour on here. So here we have the two little dots. The hours will go over here. The minutes will go over here. I'm going to show a time on the big analog clock, and I want you to write it on the digital clock. We'll do the first one together. What time is this on the analog clock? The minute hand is right on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 3. This is 3 o'clock. How do we write 3 o'clock on our digital clock? The hours go over here. So I'm going to write 3, And if it's exactly on the hour, remember, it's no minutes after the hour, so it's 0, 0. Your clock should now say 3 o'clock. What time is this on the analog clock? The minute hand is directly on the 12, and the hour hand is pointing to the 1. So this is showing 1 o'clock. Let's write 1 o'clock on your digital clock. I'm going to erase that 3 that I wrote. And now change it to a 1. Now this digital clock matches the analog clock. It shows 1 o'clock. What time is this on the analog clock? This is 11 o'clock. Now let's write 11 on our digital clock. It's still going to be 0, 0 because it's still right on the hour, but this time the hour is 11. So now this digital clock shows 11 o'clock. Let's practice some more in your math book. Let's start on page 596. On page 596, you're going to tell the time that is shown in the analog clock on the digital clock. Oh, this is so perfect. We just did this one. The minute hand is on the 12, so it's 0 minutes after the hour. Whoops. And the hour hand is pointing to the 11, so this one's 11 o'clock. Take a minute to do these 3, and then we'll go over those. Feel free to hit pause if you need more time. The minute hand here is right on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 6, so this is 6 o'clock. Ooh, tricky one. The minute hand is on the 12, and the hour hand is also on the 12. Number 4, the minute hand is on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 3. So we have 11 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. We're going to do this page in a minute, but let's start on the back so I can read it to you. Number 11 says, Rachel goes to the cafeteria to eat at 11 o'clock. She is there for 1 hour. What time does she leave the cafeteria? So you're not going to write 11 o'clock. You're going to write an hour after 11 o'clock. Write it both on the digital clock and right there. Number 12 says, Mrs. Webb's class came in for recess at 2 o'clock. They were at recess for an hour. What time did they go out to recess? So they came in at 2, but they'd been out there an hour. So what time did they go out there? What's an hour before 2? And the last one to write says, explain how a digital clock shows the time. So what do you see on a digital clock? When you're done answering that, you could do the back all on your own. Match the time on the digital clock to the time shown on the analog clock. We'll be back tomorrow to tell some more time. See you then. Bye.